Okay, so we've been training on solving multiple step equations so that way we could be able to use the substitution method. This is the fourth level of substitution. Alright, so what we want to do is solve for the variables x and y just like we've done before. Okay, now what you want to look for is for the equation that has the letter, one of the letters already by itself. So notice that right here y is already by itself. So I'm going to highlight it here. So y equals 6x minus 7. And what we're going to do is substitute that letter over here. Okay, so essentially we're going to take this and substitute it in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is rewrite it. Okay, so I'll have negative 2x minus the 3, but this time around on the y, instead of a y, I'm going to put a big parenthesis because I'm going to substitute a big chunk. And what I'm going to substitute is 6x minus 11 into the y value. So we're going to substitute it here. So I'm going to write in 6x minus 11, okay, equals to negative 7. Okay, now it looks like the equations that we've been practicing with Mathia, right? So notice that the x's here and here, they're on this side. So the variable terms are right there on the left side. So what I'm going to do is decide right away that I want the x's on the left because they're already on the left, and all the other numbers, the constants, on the right side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is rewrite the equation here. So I'll have negative 2x minus 3 times the quantity of 6x minus 11 is equal to negative 7. Alright, so what I'm going to do first is, just like in math here, you want to focus here with the parentheses at. That's where your eye should be located. I want to get rid of this by using the distributive property. Okay, so notice that I'm going to distribute this negative 3 here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and distribute it like so, like this. Okay, so the negative 2x in the front, I'm just going to bring it down. So now I'm going to multiply negative 3 times positive 6x. And if we multiply that, we get a negative 18x. So we're going to say minus 18x. And then the next thing will be negative 3 times negative 11. Negative 3 times negative 11 is a positive 33. So I'll put plus 33 equals negative 7. Okay, so that gets rid of the parenthesis by using the distributive property. Now, if I notice here, I'll try to highlight this in blue here, is that on the left side, these are like terms here because they have x in common. Okay, so I'm going to combine those. And if I do that, negative 2x minus 18x, that's a party, and it's a negative party, so I'll have negative 20x. Then I'll bring the other one down. Plus 33 is equal to negative 7. Okay, now it's a two-step equation. Okay, and again, just a reminder, I want the x's on the left side, any constants on the right. So this is a constant and I want to move it. So I do the opposite of addition, which is subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 33 here, and whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Okay, and when I combine the like terms over here, when I combine these like terms, it makes a giant 0. So what I'm left with on the left side is just negative 20x equals. Okay, then I combine these two terms here together. These two terms, and notice that it's a party and it's a negative party, so I'm going to have negative, and if I combine those I get negative 40. Okay, And notice that I'm still not done. The variable is not by itself yet. It has this negative 20 in front. So to get rid of that, because it's multiplying, I'm going to go ahead and divide by a negative 20 to make it a giant 1. So I divide by a negative 20. Okay, we're almost done, folks. This makes a giant 1 right here. So it's 1. And I get, so this makes a giant 1. So I have x, 1x is equal to, and 40 divided by 20 gives me a 2. And a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so it's a positive 2. Okay? And just like before that we did in the beginning of the month of February, notice we're not done. Our solutions have to come as an ordered pair. Okay? So I have an x value, but I do not have a y value. So notice I found the x, which is 2, but I do not know what my y value is. Okay, so just like before, we have an option. We could plug in the x into the first one or the second one to figure out the y value. I'm going to use the first one because notice that y is already by itself, so all I got to do is replace the x, work things out, and I get the y value. So that's what I'm going to do in the next slide. So I'm going to go ahead and go over here. Okay, so I'm going to use this one here. This one. So I'm going to bring it over. Okay. And what I'm going to do is say let x equal 2, because that's what we got there. X equals 2. So where I see the x, so I'll highlight that in red here. Where I see the x, I'm going to replace it with a 2. So I'll write y, whoops, let me undo that. Forgot to put the marker there. Y is equal to 6 times, okay, and I'll put the 2 in there in a moment. Now I'll put minus 11. So then I put the 2 here. And again, we practice a lot with math here. We know that multiplication is done first before subtraction because of order of operations. So I have y is equal to, we're going to work this out here first. 6 times 2 gives us 12, minus 11. And then y is equal to 12 minus 1, that is a war. The positive team won by 1 point. So now notice I got my y and I got my x. So my solution, again I write it as an ordered pair. This is my x and y, so I have 2 and 1. Okay. And just like before, I would like for you to check your solutions with Desmos. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to write out the equation. So I have y equals to 6x minus 11, I believe. Let me go back and check. Okay. And then I type in the other one. Negative 2x, let's see, minus 3y equals to, and it's going to be negative 7. So I put negative 7. All right, and then I see where it intersects, and notice that it intersects at 2, 1, and I'm going to go back and check, and notice that that's what I got here, 2, 1. So again, what you want to do is make sure you work out the work here, and you plug and you submit a picture, and then take a screenshot of the graph here, and then make sure that this is seen where it intersects. So make sure that you highlight that point, and you're done. Okay, and you do the same thing with the following equations here.